Hi, it's Martin from Steffi Bull Promotions. Delighted with our next guest, Gavin Gwynn. Gavin, thank you very much for giving us some of your time.
Yeah, no problem. It's good to have me on. Fair play. Yeah.
Couple of weeks now after that unbelievable fight on the Friday night, cracking fight. So what we'll do, we'll get onto that a bit later on. But you look well, so that's all that matters.
It's my cheeks. I look like a hamster now.
No, you look good. You look good. The back of your head, all right now.
Yeah. To be honest, it wasn't even that bad. I think because it was on the head. Obviously, obviously my blood was pumping round. I was hot. It looked worse than what it was just from the blood, like sort of thing. But it was only about that big. It was only a little gash, 2 stitches in there. So like it wasn't too bad.
I think it's because it's not all the water as well that you've drank beforehand. We all know what happens with blood, but I'll be honest, mate, it makes the fight look better as well, doesn't it? When you got blood in the back end of the back of your head. Yeah,
because someone put a photo up on me and I was on the ropes like tensed up like and it was all blood covered in me. It was a bit like Braveheart sort of thing.
I was watching it with my nan, and my nan's like, she loves the boxing, but she was like, they've got to stop this fight, he's bleeding. I was like, Nan, this is all part of the warrior code. I was like, he's fine. She's like, but he's got blood everywhere. I was like, it makes the fight look better.
Yeah, like they wouldn't have stopped it anyway. They were only stopped if I got cut over the eyes and it was going in the eye. That's the only reason why they'd stop a fight. Like loads of people asked me that. They were worried about like them stopping it because of the blood down the back of my head. But they wouldn't have stopped it because it wasn't going in my vision and it didn't deter me in any way. Like so, yeah.
No, that's good. Well, it's a good job they didn't stop it anyway because there'd have been some serious arguments.
Oh yeah.
Gavin, what made you get into boxing?
Do you know what? It was like a off chance, to be honest. Me and a few of the boys, we were just like going around the streets. You know what it was back in the day, just hanging about on the streets. And one of the boys said, "Oh, should we go to the gym?" And it was only up the road, so I was like, "Yeah, come on, man." So we went there, and it was just full of men just hitting bags. It was the scariest thing I've ever doing in all my life. Like went in there, all these noises, and we trained a couple of times, like Monday and Wednesday, and then we would miss on the Friday. We'd never turn up on the Friday, and then I done that for like a couple of months, say 9 months, and then didn't do it. Then I just went away from the sport, and then come back when I was 18 and just stuck at it. I just loved it. I just loved every bit about it. I still love it to this day. I love training. I don't like the diet bit, to be honest with you. I just ate that bit, but like the training side of it, I just love it. It's a lifestyle for me now, and it's just like most people, they wouldn't go back training this early. I'm back training. I'm back running roads. I just enjoy it. I just enjoy training. I like the most bit I like about it. I like sparring. I just like fighting. Like it's just, I think it's bred. It must be bred in me or something. It must be, I don't know. It's weird.
To be fair, you say that about the diet, but I think the diet thing with boxing is the most critical part, because what it does, it gives you the ammunition when you go into fight night and you're like, I ain't gonna not perform tonight, or I ain't gonna this ain't gonna be an easy ride because I've gone 8 weeks without having a McDonald's, or I've gone 8 weeks without having a KFC. I ain't done that for no reason.
15 weeks it was last time. It was a long time, like over Christmas as well. That was the hardest bit about it. I can remember Christmas Day. I was just miserable. Like that was the worst Christmas I've ever had in my life. It was nice with the baby. I'm not saying no different, but like I couldn't even enjoy my food. Like I had a 3-course meal, and I was worrying about how much weight they put on. Do you know what I mean? And that's all I had all day. I had that 3-course meal, and that's all I had all day. I didn't have no like sweets or chocolates or no cheese. Oh, you know, I was gutted, like, but I made up for it now the past.
I was going to say, yeah, but mate, that took them that Friday a couple of weeks ago. That made that Christmas Day worthy.
Yeah, you know what? It like 100%. You're spot on, but like everything was worth it. All the sacrifices I made, like well, Christmas Day, that's the only day I had off. Like I spend time with my boy, like spending time with my missus over Christmas. I didn't spend any time at all with family. It's been hard, like, but that just made it all worthwhile in the end. Like, do you know what I mean? Just made it all worthwhile.
Yeah, well, like you said, it makes you want to get back in the gym. It makes you want to, because now the thing is, like, you've won, you've got a Commonwealth title. Lee Eaton's putting on these shows that we all know are going to get bigger and better. You've just performed as a headline act. And you didn't just perform, mate. You put on a fantastic performance.
Yeah, like a lot of people. Sorry, I'm cooking my boy's food beer.
No, not a problem. What's he got nice?
It's only turkey dinosaurs and alphabets and peas. That's all he got.
It's yours, really.
Nothing nice, like. But he's fussy. Like he'll only eat the same things over and over. Like he's a bit fussy. But
mate, you can never turn around and say turkey diners are not a massive meal.
Oh, I love turkey dinosaurs. I do.
Who don't? Who don't?
Yeah, they're funny. But going back to Leeton and MTK, like they've been putting fantastic shows on. Like fair play to them, especially during these times as well. It's been tough, like, but like fair play. That show was amazing. Up in Bolton, loved every minute of it, and I think I'm fighting again on another one of the shows. I think it's in my contract now to fight on another show of theirs. So hopefully it won't be long and I'll be back out, like, so.
Well, all I'll say, as I said, like, I work for Steffi Bull Promotions. Boxer called Maxi Hughes. Look what happened to him last year. Look what's happening to him this year already. Stay ready, stay fit. Performances like that are only going to enhance your reputation. And
yeah, that's it. And people didn't expect me to put on a performance like that. They knew I was going to be. They know I'm tough. Everyone knows I'm tough, but they didn't expect me to put on that performance. I knew I had that performance in me, and I just went out there and executed everything to the plan. And well, I couldn't put a foot wrong, to be honest with you. He was hitting me with shots, and honest to God, there was no power in him. After being in with someone like James Tennyson, like, I could have stood there and just let him hit me all night with my hands down if I was honest with you. Like, do you know what I mean?
But, I totally agree there. But when you look at your fight with James Tennyson, you probably, like you said, could have stood there and took James. You probably could have took James Tennyson's power all night. Probably wouldn't have done you any good. But
no, it wouldn't have. No.
But you didn't look like you was going to quit.
No, 100%. But like the power he possesses, like, I was taking him well at the start. It was just he caught me on top of the head. It was like it's one you don't expect sort of thing, and he just scrambled my senses. But he's just a phenomenal fighter. Like, I think he'll go all the way. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's the thing. Sometimes you come up against people that are just, as bad as it sounds, are just better.
Yeah, they better. And I've said in interviews that I lost to the better man. Like the same with Joe Cordina, I lost to the better man, and I'm man enough to admit that. Do you know what I mean? When last Friday when I boxed the week before that, when I boxed Sean McComb, like, he lost to the better man on the night, and he'll come back better as well from that loss. Do you know what I mean?
Was you surprised about the stoppage, the way it happened?
Not really. I thought this corner was going to pull him out. I wasn't, not the first 5 rounds, I wasn't putting anything in my shots. If you noticed, I was just throwing a lot of shots. And then round 6, that was the game plan, just to tire him out and then start putting it on him in the later rounds. But as soon as I started opening up, he just quit. So that was it, really.
Was you surprised the way he turned his back?
Yeah, that was a bit, I don't know, it was a bit weird. But I thought he was going to take a knee. So I like backed off, and then I could see he was just like walking to the corner. I thought he's gonna have some more, so I threw a shot and it hit the back of his like his shoulder sort of thing. But yeah, it was he was taking some heavy punishment towards the end, or I was hitting him clean, and he knew like his punches wasn't doing nothing to me. He could hit me clean, and nothing was gonna happen. Like so.
I think it was the relentlessness as well. The fact that you wasn't
Yeah.
like you was putting your punches together, and you weren't ignoring them. You was putting your punches together, and then you was and then there was more and more, and it got to a stage where it was like, you know what, I'm gonna, and you know what, people might disagree with some of my the way I say, but it's a bit like when Joe Joyce fought Daniel Dubois, and Dubois took a knee. I agreed what Dubois done, because you can come again.
Definitely 100%. Like the only we got to look out after our health. So at the end of the day, we the ones in there taking the risks, not the people watching behind the screen sort of thing. So we the ones got to take that out. Well, saying that, some fighters they'll go to a point where the trainer's got to pull them out, but then other fighters are smart. Like I think Sean done the smart move getting out there, because I was only going to land bigger shots, and I wasn't even tired. Like I said in the interview after, I was only in first gear. I didn't even have to get out the first gear to get a stoppage. So if I went up a gear, it would have been more punishment again. So that's a good call by himself, really. It's a mature call as well, I think. Yeah,
no, definitely. Because if you look at the fight, I think when you got cut, I think that was a bit of a boost for sure.
Yeah.
I think you could see he had a bit of a. I think he was a little bit thinking, right, he's cut now, I've got him, but you didn't stop. You didn't stop.
Nah.
It was as if to say, right, you've cut me, you're going to get it even more now.
Yeah, like I had the cut, and I thought it was a punch at the back of the head. If you watch the fight back, I like looked at the ref to say, look, you've just punched me in the back of the head. Are you going to say anything about it? But it wasn't. It was an elbow. But I obviously I didn't realise that at the time, and I could feel something trickling down the back of my neck, and I didn't even notice it. And then I could see it coming over my shoulders, and that way as it was moving and rubbing, it was like coming over my shoulders. And then that was the end of the 6, and I went back, and he said, "Oh, you got to cut on the back of your head," and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to start put it on a bit now, just in case like something does happen. And as soon as I started putting it on, and that was the end, really.
With your work rate, would you say that your work rates come from being in the gym with the people, with like Tony Borg and all Tony's fighters? Like the one fighter I absolutely love for Tony Borg. Well, there's two. There's three. There's you. There's Lee, and there's Andrew. Look, when Lee was in his prime, not saying he's not now at all, but when Lee was in his prime and he first won that world title, I don't think there was a better boxer and there was a fitter boxer, and you kind of possessed that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, like when I first joined the gym, I was nowhere near as fit. Like the fitness levels are stupid now. Like I do it constant all year round. Like that's one thing I took from Lee. He said, you can't really have months off from the gym and then expect to go back and be class. You've got to be consistent with it. So I'm good friends with Lee as well. So like everything he has done through his career, I'm trying to copy it because he's gone to that level. And I know I'm not on the skill set as him, but I know my fitness, my like toughness is a different, like, I don't know, it's a different like thing. So if I get as fit as him, I know I can get them belts. Do you know what I mean?
It's pointless being skillful and not having a heart and not having an engine.
Yeah, that's it. And like a lot of these top amateurs now, they'll struggle as well because they're the type of fighters that don't like to get hit, and knowing the tough fights, they're the ones that are going to look for a way out, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's like you said. I think when boxers, another one, you look at Joe Laws. I like Joe Laws.
He's a good fighter.
He's got really good enthusiasm. But when Ryland Charlton put it on him, it was as if to say, I ain't used to this. I ain't used to this, and that's something you got to get used to, because when you're in the gym and you're looking flashy on the pads and you're hitting the bags and everyone's blowing smoke up, you're going to be brilliant. when you actually get hit, and like you said, when you get caught or when you come up against people like James Tennyson, Joe Cordina, that's when you realise, you know what, boxing is actually for me. And if you look at the two people that you've lost to, there ain't many boxers out there that'll probably beat them too.
No, that's it. They're gonna become like their own fringe world level. So, I took a lot from them losses as well, like the experience and everything else to go with it. So I think that helped me as well in that fight. Whereas Sean didn't have any step-up fights. I knew I was a massive mistake on MTK's part. Like I've had 4 title fights. I had a Welsh area title for my 6th fight. I beat English champion and IBF youth champion Myron Mills.
From Derby, isn't he?
Yeah, he was 12-0, 6 KOs at the time. I think it was 10-0. He was unbeaten. I was unbeaten. That was like another step up again. And then I progressed throughout my fights, whereas he just jumped straight into the deep end. He hadn't had no step up fights, and I think that was his downfall as well, because
he's probably looked at your record, seen 2 losses, and thought, I've got one here. But then when like you said, when you weigh up who you've actually got beat by, that's it.
And with the Cordina fight, it was a close fight. It was like 3 or 4 rounds in it. So, and that was down to myself. It was like a big occasion. I started slow. I started the slowest I've ever done in a fight. But that's all down to me, and I take that on the head sort of thing. But it is what it is. I took the loss and I've learned from it now. Do you know what I mean?
He's not very active though, is he, Joe? So do you think there'd be a possibility of a rematch in the future?
Not really. He's gone down a weight. Like he's moving on now as well. He's gone past like British and Commonwealth title. And he's quite small as well. So I think that's his suited weight. Super feather. He's not like a puncher. He's a mover. Uses his feet, fast hands, fast movement. Like so. At super featherweight, I think he'd be very good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. So as we said, I kind of completely went off track. So you got into boxing. You enjoyed your sparring. When did you first think about turning pro?
I was in the Welsh team for 3.5 years, and it was coming up to the Commonwealth Games was the year after before I turned pro. And I would have to stay down down Cardiff. It was on the squad for like £50 a week, and like I had a mortgage on a house, and it wouldn't have been I wouldn't have been able to do it. Like no chance.
Clearly, see your house ain't worth £50 a week. You can see it's worth a lot more than that.
Yeah, so like I was like, right, I'm gonna have to make a choice now, and and I had a word with Tony Borg, so I went down there. The first time I went down there, he had me sparring Gary Buckland, and Gary Buckland was training for the fight with Gavin Rees. I was like, oh my god! So I jumped in. I listen to this story now. So I jumped in. I was like, oh, I'll do. He said, how many good for? I was like, oh, I'll do 3, Ton. So I was like, yeah, I'll be able to do 3 easy, and I'm always quite fit. Like, so I'd done 2 rounds, and honest God, I was out, I'm breathing up my ass, because you know the pace Gary fights at. It was just toe to toe, and the 3rd round he hit me with a body shot. I was like, oh, and he said, have you had enough, Tony? And I was like, oh, can't be cutting me that. Can't be saying no, I've had enough. Like, so I carried on going, and he said, oh, do you want another one? I was like, yeah, go on, I'll have another. I didn't want to jump out, but I thought I can't say no, like, and just went from there then. Just went from there, yeah, just clicked like me and Tony, like, yeah, we get on great as well, so.
And so you say, and then all of a sudden you went 10-0. You beat Moran.
Yeah.
Moran's a lad he's from East Midlands, isn't he? Derby. I've seen him.
Derby, yeah.
I've seen him a fight in Walsall where there was a tragic something. I think there was a bit of an altercation with the crowd. Good boxer, fit boxer. So to beat him, that proves to you then that you're at least domestic level. So then that's when you step up, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. Like it was labelled as a title, British title eliminator as well. So I was supposed to fight for a Celtic title, like it was a couple of weeks later, a couple of months later, and then I had a knee injury, really bad, popped out, dislocated. I was in plaster for 2 weeks, and then I had a knee brace on then for, I think it was 12 weeks, and then so it was the I had to come back from that then, so it put me back like 6-7 months. So I had a fight, and then I got offered the Joe Cordina fight then. I had like a tune-up fight, and then I got offered the Joe Cordina fight, and then from there, been fighting at that level because I think I proved my worth, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. So then the Joe Cordina fight, you lost on points to that, then you won your next fight, then you come up against James Tennyson. Was that Eddie Hearn's back garden?
Yeah, that was on Fight Camp during the first pandemic. Yeah, it was mad. That was.
What was that like?
It was like we got offered the fight, and I'm the type of guy I'd never say no to a fight. Like, you could offer me any fight, and I'd say yeah. Like, so I was like, yeah. I think they give us like 9 weeks camp for it. It was hard training, obviously during the first lockdown and things, because nothing was open. So it was hard getting sparring, things like that. But the actual like experience of going up there and that was like I'll never have that again, like that experience. So it was fantastic. Like and the ring and everything in the garden and the fireworks going up, it was unbelievable. Like what a place. Like, and do you know what? If a crowd was there, that'd be a cracking venue. It'd be a cracking venue. Like,
was that that was the penultimate to Eggington versus Cheeseman, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. So we were the fight before that. Yeah. So I after the fight, then I was distraught, like, again, getting stopped and everything else. But about an hour later, then I thought about half hour later, I come out and I watched the end of that fight, and what a fight that was.
That was a potential fight of the year, really.
Oh my God, that was unbelievable. Like the last round, like watching it live was it was something special. Like they were punch for punch, just hitting each other clean. I was just thinking, fucking hell.
Well, Eggington's
on both, like, what a fight.
That's what Sam Eggington is, isn't he? Like, he's people don't give Eggington enough credit for being a boxer.
No.
I think it's because he's used to being in a war that much. If he doesn't get into a war, then he doesn't have a good fight. But I think he's.
I haven't watched that fight back, right? But a lot of people thought Eggington won that fight as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, no, definitely. If it went either way, you couldn't complain. But I think a draw was probably a fair result, or Sam. Ted winning.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Especially with Sam Eggington being the champion as well. Should have fought, but he was in the away corner for some reason. How was that?
It is what it is. But then Sam went on to beat Ashley Theophane the other week as well. So it's it is what it is. So moving on. So we've got we get the Sean McCoon victory out of the way. Any kind of secrets? Anything? What's next?
Just waiting now. Obviously, take over in the gym. We got a fight with MTK next. Obviously, hopefully a defense of the Commonwealth title, and then I know Maxie Hughes would take it, and I know Paul Ireland Jr. would take it. Like, I'd love to fight the winner of that fight later on down the year, with hopefully when we got crowds back. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I mentioned Maxie earlier. His journey's just fantastic. Bit like yours, really.
Fair play to him. Like, and he's like me. He's the type of guy not to say no to any fight. Like, no matter who it is, they fight anyone. Like, I got respect for him as a fighter. Fair play. Like, he's a good fighter.
No, definitely. So hopefully we get to see some cracking dust-ups moving forward.
And I think our styles as well, it would gel for a fantastic fight. Like,
Yeah, no, 100% is the pair of you. But Max has got to get through his next fight as well.
That's it. But I think he will come through it. I think he'll come through it and win on points, if I'm honest. I don't think it'll be like a wide points victory, but I think he will. He's been in the bigger fights. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's been the most active as well. So
definitely. So looking forward to that. Last year, you've already mentioned Lee. Lee come up against George Kambosos?
George Kambosos Jr. Yeah.
George Kambosos Jr. A lot of people had Lee winning that fight. Are you the same?
Yeah, myself. I think it was 4 or 5 rounds. I watched it back a couple of times, and I just like, what were the judges seeing? Like, he didn't for the first 4 rounds. He didn't throw. He must have thrown about 3 shots a round. So that's 3 or 4 rounds, but
yeah.
And when he was unloading, it was hitting like gloves. If you looked at Lee, it was the best he'd come out the fight. Like, he's normally cut up. He got black eyes. He didn't even have a black eye. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. Like, he rang me after it the next day in the car on the way home, and he was saying like he got it with about 3 clean shots. Like, he was gutted. Like, he was like, I don't even feel like I've been in a fight. That's what he was like. He was like, it's mental, and he's got that massive payday now as well. I think he'll get knocked out, if I'm honest. But
against Teofimo, against Lopez.
Yeah.
How do you think Lee would have gone on against Lopez?
Huh?
How do you think Lee would have gone on against Lopez?
I think, to be honest with you, I think it would have been a tough fight. He's massive, and he's a puncher, and he's a classy fighter as well. Look what he's done to Lomachenko. I think that would have been one of his hardest fights, Lee's hardest fights.
Do you think with Lee moving up in weight, do you think? Because as I said, I like Lee. I think Lee's an unbelievable fighter. Do you think moving up, he needs a little bit more power?
I don't know really, because he does possess power in the gym. So I haven't fought him. So I don't know what he's like on fight night. But when we're in the gym and sparring, he's got more than enough power for a lightweight. Like, I've been in with one of the biggest punchers in lightweight division, and I'm not saying it's as hard as that, but he does carry power, and he's very accurate with his shots.
Yeah, that's one thing.
And people say, like, how can he move at 2 weights? Like, if you've seen the size on Lee, like, you'd think, how the hell did he make featherweight?
Yeah,
like he's a big lightweight. He's just,
he should never have fought.
He's not. Nah, he used to kill himself to make the weight. Like, in some of the stories, like, you'd be sick. Like, well, what he used to do to make weight. Like, it was like, I viewed them, and obviously I would never tell anyone, but like, he shouldn't have been fighting. Like, do you know what I mean? Not at that weight anyway. Sickening, like, the stories.
You could see against Warrington, he just wasn't good for that weight anymore. You could clearly see, but.
And that was a close fight. Imagine if he was at like.
He never quit.
Nah, imagine that was at like super featherweight, like an extra 4 pounds. I don't think it would have made a difference, because he needed that extra 9 pounds, because it's still hard to make 9 stone 9 for him. Like, do you know what I mean?
He's tall as well, isn't
he? What's that?
He's tall.
Yeah, obviously he's not as tall as me, but he's a lot broader, and he got bigger legs than me. But yeah, he's a tall lightweight. Yeah.
Do you know Lee out of boxing?
Yeah.
I bet you move on the dance floor.
I got a video. Oh, but you kill me if I said it too. But tag it in this, but it'd be class. We were in LA, so we went to LA training camp, and we went to the beach on one of our off days, and we had the car thing going. He was giving it spuds outside the car. It was funny, man.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Another one, Andrew Selby. I can't believe that he never become a world champion.
I like he needs to stay in the gym. He's back in the gym now, so the talent he possesses.
Oh, he was ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I remember watching him once on a Channel 5 show, and he turned around at the end and he went, "I don't like boxing." He went, "I don't even like it." And you think to yourself,
you know, I've seen him sparring. I'm not going to say who he's been sparring, but he's a world-class fighter, right? Sparring in the gym. And he's come back after like 6-7 rounds, gone hanging over the ropes like that. And he said, "Oh, I'm bored of it, this guy."
Ridiculous, isn't it?
And he's like making it look easy, and he's battering this kid, and this kid is like a world-class fighter as well. Like,
I'll ask you who it is at the end.
It's like, what?
It's just mental. But hopefully, like you said, he's back in the gym.
Yeah,
hopefully
like
lockdown things kind of.
Yeah, he's got good people around him now, and he's got a good team in MTK that hopefully will get him them big fights. Like I know he can get a European title fight in his next fight. He'd win hands down, and then push on to world honors. Then, yeah.
Yeah, no, I really do rate him. A lot of boxing talk lately is YouTube fighters. Now, when you speak to boxers, there was a boxer I was speaking to someone the other day, a chap called Navarro from America. He's not a fan of YouTube fighters at all. What's your opinion? Because all these YouTube fighters, they always call out the big names. They don't call out the Commonwealth champions like yourself. They don't call out.
Yeah, I wish they would.
Yeah,
I wish they would. I want a nice payday and an easy fight. Fucking hell.
What do you think?
It's like beating some kid up off the street. That's what it'd be like. Because if, like, I go to my old amateur gym, and it's like kids just starting out fighting, and like men they're training sort of thing. So you take them round sort of thing, but you let them hit you because it's nothing. They don't really know the punch, so you just let them hit you on the gloves, and that's what it'd be like. Like I'd fight someone who's 13 stone. I wouldn't care. Like,
does it make you feel? Because one of the things he says to me, which was like I never understood.
Did you see that? Stephen Ward boxed Thor?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean, look at the size on Thor. Like,
it's just mental. He got put down, didn't it? Didn't he get put down?
I can't remember.
I can't watch them fights as much as I'm a boxing fan. I can't watch them. I just think it's disrespectful. I really do.
But they bring the money in, so like I can't blame them in that way. Like, because that's all they're about is the money. They don't care about anything else. They don't care about being champion or nothing else. They just care about the coin. Like, do you know what I mean? But like, can't fault them in that way because they're earning a mint. Like,
but it's not fair on boxers like you that.
No,
tell everyone if you tell all the viewers that like what you do as a job. Like, you don't, boxing's not your job, is it? Like, you have to work and then you come back and then you train and you've got a child, it's just mental.
But yeah, like, I'm a shuttering carpenter, so I do all the shutters and the steel fixing and the concrete, so I do everything. But
I bet your gaffer never tells you what to do.
That's my old man anyway, so.
Happy days.
Yeah, but I got to work. I got bills to pay, and I don't want to. One thing didn't want to do. I didn't want to waste my boxing money because I'm not going to box forever. So I enjoy going to work. It's a wage at the end of the day. It pays the bills, and when I got a fight, obviously I have like 9 weeks off work, but that's all down to my sponsors who help me out and make sure I'm financially stable, like so.
No, that's superb. Just a couple more questions from some of our viewers. One of them was there's a lot of talk of the old era coming back to fight. We see Tyson versus Lewis. There's been a lot of talks of other fighters. What would be your opinion if Joe Calzaghe was to make a return?
I wouldn't want to see him back in the ring.
Most underestimated fighter, I think, is
100%. Like, if he was English, like he'd he'd be a superstar. Do you know what I mean? But like, I don't think we get the recognition because we're Welsh, or he don't get the recognition because he's Welsh. Like the same with Lee, the same with Nathan Cleverly. Do you know what I mean? Gavin Rees. Do you know what I mean? Like all these fighters like don't get the recognition, obviously because they're Welsh. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is, but it's just one of them things.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I watched Joe Calzaghe versus Jeff Lacey. I know I'm going to say really sad that I've watched Joe Calzaghe versus Jeff Lacey about 10 times because that.
Yeah, I've watched it loads of times as well, mate.
It's just unreal. And if anyone wants to ever watch a boxing masterclass against an American that was coming over and he literally thought...
Yeah, he was the next best thing supposed to be, yeah.
He was just absolutely unreal. Literally unreal.
He was going to pull out of that fight as well. He was going to pull out, a couple of weeks before, like, he was going to pull out of it and everything. Yeah, if you watch his documentary, says in it, his father made him, like, he said, Joe, if you pull out this fight, it'll be the end of your career sort of thing.
What was he going to pull out for? Just because he didn't think he'd
win? I don't know. It might have been an injury. It might, because he always had like bad hands. Like
he never stopped throwing them.
I know, but he went into loads of fights, like with hand injuries, but just covered it up, sort of thing.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Gavin, we've just got the Commonwealth title. We're waiting to see what's next. When you hang your gloves up eventually, obviously not yet. What would you have wanted? What will class you as having a successful career? Couldn't get my words out then. Like, what is the one title you want?
I really won the British title. Like that's one title I won, but I'm not gonna I'm gonna take everything as it comes now. Whereas in the past I'm like looking beyond things. So I won that title now, so I want to defend it next, and then I won that British title, and then we'll go from there, sort of thing. But I want to be known like when I hang my gloves up as the type of fighter, no shit, no, don't take no nonsense, sort of thing. Just don't talk no nonsense either. Just a whole old school fighter. God gum shield, will travel, fight any man, and just give the crowd good crowd pleasing fight, sort of thing. Yeah.
No, definitely. I thought you was going to say that you wanted to be top viewer on my YouTube channel, but
I'm not. I want that as well.
That's what you know. It's successful. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Let's catch back up after your next victory, and let's see where we go next.
100%.
Thank you very much.
Nice one, Matt. Thank you.
Cheers, Gavin. Bye.